Sweet, Lisa's got hers too. So yeah, so your question, Tom, I caught it. You were asking about the Facebook ads.
Yeah. Well, it's about whether, first of all, we were just trying to decide whether we needed to go to a Facebook fan page for Tom Braegelmann, because, I mean, obviously personal and fan page are going to be the same name. And
Right.
I just want to know that we have a resource for figuring out which way they want to go.
Yeah.
For the Facebook ads was just, and Lisa, you probably, I'm sure you know a lot more about that than I do, but just curious if that's part of what you put together, or if you had any input.
Yeah, so it's a really good question, Tom. My input is, unfortunately, the truth is there's so many people that have Facebook pages now that the ROI on your time is just not there, unfortunately. So for you to have a Facebook page, unless you're really planning on doing Facebook ads, there's no really reason to have it, because if you have it, you might have 100 likes. Great. How does that really help your social proof? It doesn't. When you post, you're going to get 1 to 2 people see it. Like, there's no advantage other than the ability to do Facebook advertisements. When you do Facebook advertisements, there's a lot more responsibility, a lot more planning, and a lot more expenses and costs than you need the Facebook page. So,
and when you say Facebook page, you mean the fan page, right?
Yeah, fan page. Yeah. So you've got Tom Braegelmann. It's called a profile, and then you've got like Hooked on Startups fan page. It's just a page, profile page. Yeah. So the problem is I have some friends that have like 20,000 likes. Chris Duncan has, I think, 9 or 12,000. Well, when you look at the metrics, because Facebook is very smart, they know that if they reduce your reach, that you're going to be upset when you have a big audience and you have a reduced reach. It's going to incline you to buy some Facebook ads. Mm-hmm. That's how they sucker people in, and then they make a ton of money. So for someone like myself or yourself or Matt, is creating a Facebook page really worth your time? It is, only if you've got content going out on other platforms, then you can dump it across to Facebook. Because the truth is even if you had 100,000 fans on Facebook that were legit from ads and campaigns and stuff, you're still like, I see people that only get 1 or 2 comments. It's crazy. It's crazy. There's no engagement. There's no reach. So unless you're doing ads, there's just no point. And unless you're doing content on other platforms, then you can dump it to it. Twitter, I wouldn't even bother with. It's not even a question. Facebook page is becoming kind of the same, with the advantage though that the marketplace is still there for advertisements, or else it would really not be it.
But for clarification, having a personal account Facebook page is of value?
Well, a page is a page. So whether it's a Fast Social page, an Austin Sieben page, a page is a page.
I guess I should say a presence on Facebook. So whatever that's called. So if I'm on Facebook, I think of that video that I posted on Sunday with Brandon and myself for Father's Day. And we got like 450 views and probably about 100 some likes or loves. And so.
Yeah. So that's your profile.
I just don't know whether that really helps my cause, or if it just makes me feel good because I see people are looking at it. I don't want to use up time or other people's time on something that's not really becoming valuable for everybody.
That's good. So the profile is good. So the profile, I see you, and you've got live streams, and you do really good on your profile. So the clarity for you is that what you're doing on Facebook for your personal is great. When you do a fan page, it's, how do I say this? A fan page can be a public figure. It can be a business, a company, a brand, a cause, a group. So that's a fan page.
If you're telling me right now that I don't need a fan page, that's all I need to know. So
like I wouldn't suggest it unless you're doing ads, then I get one.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. And then let's see. So that goes back to Facebook ads. So until we become until Facebook ads becomes part of our strategy.
Yes.
Let's hold off. The other question I had is podcasts. I think I've got, what do we have, Lisa, 9 or 10? And we just had the first one that we're ready to roll out, which I'm going to do about 2 a week on average is what I'm aiming for. And is there any easy way to get word out about, or I shouldn't say easy, but like a low-hanging fruit for getting word out about that. I do have the platinum community, which there are 700 or 800 people in that community.
Sweet.
And I feel like they're warmer than the average warm. At least as certain percentages. And so I want to be able to really push value, add value. I'm showing them how to do deals directly. I'm talking with the experts in all the fields. So I really feel like the content is going to be valuable. But I just want to make sure there too that we're grabbing the low-hanging fruit or doing what is most cost-effective and time-effective initially.
Yeah, so all you're going to need, this is a great, really, really, really great question. So the easiest way to make this happen is it's all about excitement is what's going to get you a bunch of traffic. So what you're going to want to do is say, I've got this really exciting announcement. You can do this on a Facebook Live, so it takes none of your time other than the time that you spend on the live, which is cool. So I would do a Facebook Live, like I've got this massive excitement. This is what I've been up to. This is what I'm doing, and kind of give them a little bit of insight and tell them, comment if you're interested, right? So warm them up before you do the Facebook Live. You would warm them up with a couple statuses like, guys, I'm working on something. I've got some pretty exciting news. How's everybody's deals going? Like kind of say that you've got exciting news and then ask them a question relevant to get engagement. You want the post to get good engagement. So here's what I did when I launched my business. This is exactly what I did, and this will exactly help you. It's the same strategy and it'll work guaranteed. Is I warmed up my audience on Facebook by asking questions. I said, who are my entrepreneurs on Facebook like this or comment? Boom, bunch of likes and comments. So I warmed them up, right? And then the next step, I can connect with you. Boom, bunch of people comment. Boom, boom. I'm data mining for all these people and I'm attraction marketing. They're all coming to me. I'm not doing anything. They're just coming to me and engaging. Boom, 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 boom. The next one was like another question relevant to, what's your business? Who's in, like, what's your business? Let me know and paste your link to your website so I can connect with you. Boom, 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 boom. I did all these. I warmed them up. Then I did this Facebook Live out of nowhere. Boom. And this was all in like 1 week. I did a Facebook Live and I said, guys, and I called the video like massive, exciting announcement that I haven't told anyone for the last year or whatever, I went on there, did a Facebook Live and said, I fired my boss like a year and a half ago. I've been working with top entrepreneurs. I've been doing this. I'm really excited. I'm launching a social media agency, blah, 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 blah. It went crazy. I got like so many shares on the video. It went like, I don't even know, over 2,000 views and like 10 shares, blah, blah, blah. Then the next Facebook Live, I did 10 social media mistakes. So I did a big announcement Facebook Live. Then I did the top 10 social media mistakes and it got like 18 shares, crazy engagement, boom, boom, boom. The key that I learned from all of it, it was massively successful. The key that I learned from it was that as long as you do a couple posts that warms up the audience to get engagement, ask some general question. How are deals going? What was your biggest deal? Or what was your like stuff that people want to share? Because when you think of the questions that I asked, I said, who's on LinkedIn? Everybody wants more LinkedIn connections. So they're going to comment. What's your website? Post it. Everybody's going to want to post that. So people are somewhat self-centered. So if you can just create a question that gets a bunch of engagement, it'll spark the engagement. So when you go live in the group, it's like, oh, here's Tom, and they're all listening. They all want to know what you're doing because you've asked them about them so many times. So just think of 3 statuses to warm up your audience, then do a Facebook Live with the announcement, get the people to comment who are interested, right? Say, I'm thinking about doing this podcast, and say, comment yes if you're interested. And this is what I did for my book, was I say, comment yes if you're interested in getting my book, blah, blah, blah. I got like hundreds of comments of people who said yes. When my book launched, I went back, messaged every single person that said yes, they would be interested. I sent them a private message saying, hey, you said you're interested on my book. I held them massively accountable. And I said, here's my book link. Thank you so much for supporting. Boom, got a ton of book sales. Got like hundreds and hundreds of book sales in like a couple hours. So that's what you can do for your podcast. So when we take the 2 strategies that I said, you warm up your audience with a couple posts, very easy. Like a couple questions, post your LinkedIn's, like how are deals going, or what's some lessons you've learned, or what's the biggest mistake you've made, or whatever it is. People want to share that stuff. You got 3 statuses that go out. You do 1 every day. or one every third day, doesn't really matter. Then I did a Facebook Live saying like, here's the massive announcement, would be interested. And I did another Facebook Live with the juice. Like, here's the juice, here's who I've interviewed, this is why it's awesome, got them really excited, share this out, blah, blah, blah. Boom. That's how you're going to create a massive amount of engagement and get as much traffic and the low-hanging fruit, because it doesn't take up any of your time. You just write the statuses, post it, reply to every single person who comments, because the more that you reply, the more comments you'll get. And then I just hold people massively accountable. Anyone who said they would be interested, get them to say yes, and then have that post whenever you're ready to launch, message each person. You could get an assistant to message each person that said they would be interested. Boom. Then that's how you get a bunch of traffic to your podcast.
Okay. And you mentioned shares. Now those just come by you saying,
yeah,
if you like this, share it. Love to have you share it.
Yeah. So if this was valuable, share it out. If you enjoyed it, share it out. You know, that's basically what I do. And then as soon as they see a couple shares, it just starts going crazy. Like once people see a couple shares, once they see a couple comments, then people are like psychologically more inclined to reply.
So share is
comment and share and do.
Share is the highest level of response.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. So I would post in your group. I would warm up your group, warm up your Facebook audience, do the same strategy, but it'll maybe a little bit different. If you really wanted to leverage your time, I would do it all on your personal and then share the live video to your group. So you get the share across into the group. So it'll say Tom Braegelmann has shared a live video. Boom, it's there. Or you could do them separately and do a live video in your group, like warm them up, do a live video in your group, which would be great. And then you can do one on your Facebook profile, warm them up, live video. Your group would feel respected and awesome because they feel like they're in the group for reasons. It's more secluded, so it's a more authentic way to go. To do it separately. The easy would be to go on your Facebook, upload people, and then take that video, share it to your community, so you don't have to do videos twice. That's the two ways to look at it. Yeah. Make sense?
So I had some video issues there. Did you guys catch everything on?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I got that.
Good. It's good. So, and then do these strategies again, so that for the consistency or the duplication of efforts, is there a way that we should look at doing, for instance, LinkedIn at the same time as we do some of these things on Facebook, because we're already creating a good share of that content in the work? We just go parallel with LinkedIn.
Yeah. So my suggestion would be, either way you look at it, whatever way you go, I would just suggest doing the same thing on LinkedIn by having the same statuses and same everything, because the truth is there's so much noise on social that even if they're a hardcore fan of yours, they're most likely going to miss either your Facebook post or your LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. And if they see it twice, they see it twice. Like it's not a negative. So I would model the exact same thing. So it's a good point, because when I did my book launch, I did the exact same statuses, same outcome, tweaked it a little bit. So it's more authentic. I just tweaked it a little bit, but same outcome. I didn't have to recreate the wheel. My status took me 3 minutes to come up with, put it on Facebook, recreated the wheel, posted it like a couple hours later on LinkedIn. That's it. That's all I did. So no need to worry. Save yourself the time and effort. Do the exact same thing on Facebook. Put it to LinkedIn. There'll be no problem.
Okay. Quick question for you. So coming back to this, if I can just go back to the giveaway question quickly. Yeah. Rather than just doing the post on your timeline and asking for shares, is it worth doing a sponsored post? So in other words, running the post out of your fan page and boosting it.
It's a good question. So what I would suggest is all Facebook ads is it's really a bunch of time and testing. That's really all it is. There's really no secret potion to Facebook ads. It's like, this isn't working, stop. This one's working, more. That's all it really is, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
what my suggestion really would be is, it's a tricky question because specifically for you, let's just say, let me just put it this way. If you had a big fan page and you're getting a ton of engagement and you know that one's working good, then I would boost it because you could test for free. Makes sense. Yeah. Makes sense. So with you, with a smaller fan page, and I'm the same, I'm in the same boat. Unfortunately, the social proof won't be there, but I would suggest getting your best offer and just doing only like $3, $4, $5 a day and just testing like crazy and figuring out which one's working.
Yeah.
But exactly. See, the unfortunate part about Facebook ads is there is a little bit of technicalities that I'm not going to go into. The thing is that
you're talking about targeting.
Retargeting. You want to have like a funnel that they go to so that at least you get a name, email, and then you can, if they jump on that page and they don't opt in, you can retarget to them. See, that's where it gets tricky. Yeah. So if you want to take imperfect action and get exposure, then yes, I would boost a post and I would make it real specific just on target avatar. Like, this is the age, they're male, they live here, blah, blah, blah. And you don't want to go for more reach. You want to go for more clicks. Clicks mean everything. It doesn't matter. Like, I can get a video to get 1 million views and pay money, but like, people are seeing it in India and it doesn't matter. Yeah. So what you want to do is just save your money by only spending maybe $3, $4, $5 a day and just have a boosted post going up for people who are interested in real estate, interested in startup, interested in entrepreneurship, are ages 20 to 35, stuff like that. That's going to give you a massive ROI. Retargeting, ad copy, graphics, blah, 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 right? This will just be an imperfect way to just get more traffic and to just test.
Sure. Testing.
Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So it'll help you with the outcome of that, Matt, that question. The outcome is more reach, right? Yes. More reach, more eyeballs, more, that's about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? So, yeah.
Brilliant.
Cool. Lisa, do you have any questions on this?
No, I don't. Taking it all in.
I know we move really fast. Like the big keys is like for Tom's podcast, I mean, just 3 good engagement statuses and then an exciting post that gets them to be held accountable, and then the Facebook Live. And then you follow up with another killer Facebook Live, and then you do the launch, like, here it is. And then you message all the people and hold them accountable. That's the best way. Yeah. That's going to.
And then I'm also asking them to comment on iTunes. Am I?
So I would say later on do that, because you want to get a bunch of traffic. If you ask too much, right? Mm-hmm. They'll be like, oh, Tom just like ask. Mm-hmm. If you're like ask, give, then maybe like 2 months. How I would position, if you want to get comments on your iTunes, here's probably my top suggestion would be get as much traffic to it at the beginning and just get people to share the post and get as much traffic to it. Just get as much traffic as possible. Then what I would do, maybe after like 1 month, you can do a live and be like, my podcast is going so great and so awesome. Thank you so much for all of you that that went there, checked it out, and are listening. I just wanted to celebrate, and anyone who comments on it, because it's growing like crazy, I'll give you, a cool resource. Or if you feel like it, go comment and leave a review. I would really love it. Thank you guys for supporting me. That's what I would do, and it'd be the authentic and reasonable way to do it, because you really want to focus your efforts on getting traffic to there first, right? Yeah. Get some friends and family and close connections that you can one-to-one message, like, hey, I've got a new podcast. Can you leave a review? Do that. But 2 months, maybe a month down the road, say, hey, remember that podcast I launched? It's doing so good. Please leave me a review. And it's up to you. You can leave them an incentive, or you can just say, just leave me a review if you checked it out and liked it.
Yeah. I think that warm list that I have, I could easily ask.
And for me, like I said, it's quite easy to create like a free giveaway that's like not much of my time, or maybe I do like a special, I don't know, you can do something that doesn't take up a ton of your time and to incentivize them, right?
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
So
good. I think that's all the questions that I had for right now.
Yeah, no, I'm gagging to go. Thank you, Austin. So, yeah, I mean, I've got my sort of direction set for the next plan.
sweet.
As far as
The last,
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Tom.
I was just going to say, as far as getting more podcast, the right podcast people to do interviews with, that's something that maybe a little further down the line we can talk about, identifying who those will be and how to reach some of the higher end, high value types of podcast interviews.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, first off the bat, I'm going to say one of my good friends has been interviewing professional sports people in the NFL, Grant Cardone, like millionaires, and he's been working his way up. So the big key with it is definitely consistency and definitely trying to improve the quality of the guests, like as you go, and just consistently promoting your podcast episodes and guests. So a good way to leverage your podcast is to be talking about who's up and coming, who you might have on, who you're thinking, asking your audience who they want on. Because when your audience says, we want Robert Kiyosaki, when you go to Mr. Robert Kiyosaki, you say, hey, like my audience really wants you on this show. It would be a massive value for you to get on. It's going to be half an hour time. You can promote your product that you want to promote. And I think it'd be overall great. And I'll share it to all of my social networks. It's a complete no-brainer for, Mr. Robert Kiyosaki that I know you can get on there. It's easy. So the key is just always be talking about what it is that you're working on, and people will respond to it and they'll want to be involved. And you'll say, well, you guys asked for Robert, here's the episode. And because they're engaged and they feel like they're a part of what you're doing, boom, they're going to go and check it out. They're going to go and download it and be a user. So you've got to think of your podcast like a product. Think of it like a product. I've helped generate literally hundreds of thousands of dollars through podcasts and massive relationships that it actually might be a service, because some people are asking me like, hey, can you connect me with this person? The ROI on going out for dinner with a stranger or having someone on your podcast show is an invisible ROI, because the relationship could turn into literally tens of thousands of dollars. And it's so true. Yeah. And so a podcast is so overlooked that, I mean, I don't even have to like tell you how important it is, but the truth is that if you treat it like a product and you think, how can I promote each episode and get them excited about the up and coming guests and who they want on? And, the key is catering to your audience, keeping it fun, engaging, informative. If you have that, people are going to keep coming back. Like, that's the key.
You mentioned professional sports players. I don't follow sports for prep, but I do know I probably have 3 or 4 well-known sports players that I could interview. So that's an interesting, and for me, I think that could fit well because it could be the passive investor perspective.
Right. So it's about getting some people's names that people know too. So find a decent fit. If they can just fit, but they've got a good name, like people know who they are, that's going to massively improve, because then later on you can say, I've had the honor to interview Robert Kiyosaki, this person. And the more people that you interview that people know, you can actually pitch and get higher guests on your show. Yeah. Because then you can leverage, like I've had, Mark Cuban on my show, Grant Cardone, and blah, blah, blah. They're going to be like, oh, I'll jump on. It's more of a no-brainer. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's all marketing of your podcast like a product, and then and going all in and just making sure it's consistent, like 1 or 2 a week, like an episode would be perfect, and then 30 minutes length. And then that's really it. And then make it widely available. So make sure you do the research to make sure it's on Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, like SoundCloud. Figure out which ones are going to be the best and make it widely available. And then create graphics per podcast and post those on your Instagram, your Facebook, your LinkedIn. Like leverage it to create content. Put it on your YouTube, Yeah,
so. and a screen capture is fine for who. I mean, it could just be whoever my guest is. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's out there and it's on YouTube. You put their name on it. Be like, you put the title. I mean, if you're doing one episode, you may as well post as many places as you can and leverage it as much as possible, you know?
Yeah.
So, and then people, the more they hear your voice and see you, they'll actually build that trust too. So when they listen to your podcast, they're way more likely to reach out to you and they get a taste of you. It's like a free ebook. They're like, oh, this person actually knows what they're talking about, and I'll actually check out their program. So it's really smart. So
at what point will you be ready to for an interview?
For me,
pretty. Love to have you on there. You and I talked about this a while back, but yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd be ready. I mean, I'm just super focused on my business and what I'm doing, and I'm going to start. What's that?
So cool. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm focused on. I've got a strategy actually, and I'm one of the programs I'm creating is Instant Celebrity, and I'm building relationships with John Lee Dumas. I've already got one with Chris Duncan and a couple others. Pat Flynn. They're all super well known, and I've got personal connections. And so what I'm going to do is build my personal brand and get my status massively high, and then show my clients a pathway, create a course, be like, cool, you want to get on? I've got these 10 shows I can get you on, plus Forbes, plus Inc. So that's the product I'm actually working on right now. So I'm building that out. So that's why I'm pretty well inclined on podcasts, ebooks, like all of the questions you guys have. It's like what I study. So for myself.
Yeah, I think John Lee Dumas is my neighbor out here in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, he is.
So cool. That's cool. That's awesome. And then Pat Flynn comes to San Diego. I don't know if he lives in San Diego, but he's been in San Diego a lot. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, so the last session, I want to make sure that you guys are taken care of for the last session. I did promise a bonus one individually if you guys need. Remember when we talked, we said 3 calls and then 1 each, and then plus all the bonuses I was giving you guys. So the last session, I just want to make sure it's basically just going to be like final questions. Make sure you guys have a little bit of a strategy / roadmap. So Tom, make sure if you have questions about like, how do I leverage more on my podcast and all of this? I know we covered it a bit, but if you're like, yeah, I've got better clarity on what Austin's talking about and I want to learn a little more, whatever that looks like, that's what we'll talk about. The last call also will be, I'm going to show you guys how to create a course, an epic course to monetize and build traffic to and stuff like that. That'll be the big learning, and really just Q&A and any last strategy you guys need or questions or ideas, thoughts, positioning. If you need help a little bit more on the positioning and stuff, and then that would be really it. Like I said, I think I covered mostly everything on your guys' marketing outcomes and objectives. Much
I lost it for the last minute.
Content, and then we'll have the individual sessions for last wrap up.
Okay. If you guys got that, I lost you for the last minute.
Oh, okay. I basically just said that. Okay. Are we back now?
Yeah.
I can't tell if
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So, do you guys have any questions or anything like that moving forward?
One thing that I had was originally, I think we talked about like a mind map, sort of a mind map marketing map. Didn't know if that was something that you had worked on or were working on still, or maybe that's part of what we're creating.
The roadmap is the word I use, and that was what I was saying on the last minute when I got cut. The roadmap is really what the roadmap is the final strategy. So my step 1 on my calls is info overload. Step 2 is Q&A and clarity, and then step 3 is the Q&A and roadmap. That's how I do my 3-pack marketing calls. So the first call is like massive overload, give as much information as I can so you guys are familiar with what I'm talking about. Step 2 is any questions, give extra clarity, give some more content. The last one is really make sure that the roadmap, the final roadmap is now that you've got all the pieces and everything, it's like, okay, is there any questions we need help with on building our own? Because, building a strategy and the roadmap is so easy when you have all the pieces and all the parts. Right? So we talked about the content repurposing and all of that. because I'm answering all these little questions here and there, the last call will be like, okay, what's your final suggestion for, our LinkedIn, our Facebook? Like, what should we be doing? You guys will get your LinkedIn training right after this call. I'll drop you the link. You'll have your LinkedIn and Facebook training. So that'll help out. And then the podcast, we basically have talked about that before. So yeah, the roadmap really is getting clarity on like what platforms to be on, which ones not to be on, suggestions, and tips, and giving you the path so that you're like, okay, this is what I'm going to do daily. And this is the minimal stuff that I'm going to do that's going to give me maximal ROI. Okay. So yeah, that's the last call. We'll also talk about how to create a course to monetize it with having to do all the crazy tech, like stuff that you could literally start tomorrow. If you really wanted. So the last call will be really light. So if you guys want to book like at the end of the week or, beginning of next week, it's going to be a really light call, but I would definitely suggest take some time to review the last two notes that you guys had to make sure we have good clarity.
Sure.
Excellent.
Awesome.
So,
awesome.
Cool. Anything else, Matthew? Or
no, I'm good to go. So what I'd like to do actually is give it a week, 10 days or so, because I'd like to get this. For me, I'd like to get this giveaway out there, and then perhaps we can have a post-mortem after I've done it, just to see how it can be improved. And other sort of thoughts. So maybe we'll use so just so I got it right, we've got one final session with Tom and I, and then after that we've got an individual, so it'll be sort of 4 in total. Like a
mini wrap up, like I said, to make sure you guys are both taken care of.
Yeah, okay, great. That's good, because then we can be sort of specific. Okay, good. So no, thank you. It's been very useful. I'm gonna do some testing. I want to do it in a way that's quite classy, as it were. So I don't want to be perceived as being one of these sort of quick marketing types. I just want to say, I think this is such a good book that I want to give away, a couple of copies.
Yeah.
And there's no strings, just, tell me if you're interested, share this. And then once I get to 100 shares, I'll pick a couple of winners.
Yeah, exactly. So start small, because you want to build the momentum, and the outcome for you is to get a successful giveaway. You want to give away as many books as you can. So it's like start with 5, start with 10, like just get momentum, because the ROI will be there.
Do you think 100 shares is too much, or do you think
it depends? It depends on your engagement. So I can't specifically say until I see what profile and all the traffic and stuff. So if you're an influencer, I'm like, 100 shares, no problem. But start with your first one. Say like 10 shares, like whatever it is, just to get momentum, get the first one, because you don't know until you get a starting metric. So then you can gauge it from there. So if you get 10 shares in an hour, you're like, oh wow, we smashed that, and it will keep clocking, and it'll go to like 14, 15. Then it's the next one. Okay, we did so good. It was such a big success. We're gonna do 25 shares. We're giving away a book and blah blah, whatever it is, right?
Yes.
That's how you do it. You gotta start small, and like ads will cost you $50. You might not get nothing. At least this is like, okay, it's a $20 book, and I'm helping someone specifically. Like, it's a little bit different. So it's still advertising and a marketing cost. So that's that. So the last call, just so we're all super clear, the together call, I'll make sure that I go through and review. I want to do a quick review on Matt's Instagram, Matt's LinkedIn, Matt's Facebook profile page, and YouTube. Any of those that I can give suggestions and feedback. And if you have a website, I can quickly review on the fly and be like, oh, this is good. Oh, you need a link here. You should do a bio there. And I can spend maybe 20 minutes on yours, and then Tom's as well. I can go through Tom's LinkedIn, his YouTube, his Instagram, and Facebook. And just be like, oh, this looks good. Oh, and I can give you it's called a social media analysis. I usually charge for it, but I'll bonus it for you guys. Might take 15 minutes. I'll whiz through it. It'll be on record, so you can ask me questions as we go. But for the most part, it'll be like, oh, you should remove this and put this profile photo, blah, blah, blah. So it's really, really helpful, and it'll really help your if your profiles are set up, it's a big mistake I see all the time, all over the world, like all over the world. If your profile's not set up properly, it'll hurt your conversions and it'll reduce your branding, and you won't be found by other people that are trying to get in touch with you, right? So if you don't have a good profile photo, you're not going to connect with your person. You're going to get less follows. Less people are likely to click on the things you want them to click on, right? So I'll help you guys go through that. So we'll do a social media analysis. I'll show you how to create a course. It might take me 20 minutes to maybe 15 to just show you how to create a course and how to do it properly without having to get click funnels and all these accounts and everything. Very simple that you guys could smash out. And then any other wrap up questions and clarity that you guys need will be good. And then we can do a mini session each. Usually my consulting sessions, just so you guys know, are only 30 minutes. So I've been making sure we've gone a little longer each time. I think the last one was 70 minutes. This one's like an hour and 20 minutes. So I just want to make sure you guys know that I'll do one more long, good one with you guys. And then I'll do a mini session. Might be like 30 minutes individually.
Okay,
so,
perfect. That's really good. No, it's all good, valuable stuff. Much appreciated.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for the good questions. And yeah, thanks for being on, Lisa. And Lisa, if you have any specific questions when you and I and Tom connect on the mini one, the last one, or even the next group one, if you have any questions, let me know and I can definitely help you out, because I'm assuming that you're going to help support, implement some things.
Yes.
So if you have if you want to spend the first maybe 10 minutes on like, hey, how can I improve engagements on statuses, or how do I create statuses, or any tips that you need support on, as if you're actually going to go and implement, if I can leave you with any good tips that will help you, I'd be more than happy to.
Great. Thanks.
Sweet. Yeah. Awesome. Great. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Janissa, for getting the record.
All right.
I'll see you guys very soon. If you want, do you want me to send you guys a link to book a call again, or are you just going to get the same link?
We'll use the same link.
Same link.
Okay, sweet. So it's Lisa. Sorry, when you book the call again, you can just grab that book a call link, and it'll be the same thing. You schedule it, pick the time, and then it's all automated.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.